Hello everyone, welcome to the den. I hope you can hear me okay. The light is disappearing and diminishing fast, but it is a bright Saturday following Norwich City's fantastic 3-2 victory here at Millwall in a game that was a proper playoff contending game between two teams desperate to finish in the top six. And for me, Norwich's best performance of the season, probably by a distance. It was a fantastic game to watch play out in terms of what both teams were trying to do and the energy they put in. It was the den. It was, I think there were about 27,000 people in here, which is roughly 27-year high in terms of crowd. Really big occasion. And Norwich rose to it, which is a very encouraging thing to see them rise to an occasion like that. Now, I'm going to leave this stadium now because I'm conscious of getting locked in, and also I've got to try and get my trains back home. So hopefully that will all work out. You can follow me live as I do it. But you're probably more interested in my take on the game, which was, it was as I said, it was a cracking game of football. I thought Norwich were excellent, probably bar the opening 15 to 20 minutes or so, which again is probably a bit of a recurring theme from what happened the previous week. Can I follow you guys out of the stadium? Can I follow you out of the stadium? Can I get out of the stadium this way?
Out way.
Out. Can I get out? Is it all locked?
I need to show you and check.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
You're a star. Thank you very much.
From here.
You're a star. Thank you.
See you about 9.
There we go. Thank you. There we go. Oh no, the Norwich coach is still here. That's exciting. It's been a while since I've been outside a ground actually when everyone leaves. You probably want that as a backdrop actually. Much more interesting than my face, although make sure I don't get run over. So yes, anyway, where was it? Yeah, so the first 20 minutes or so wasn't great. And I thought Millwall were well worth the lead actually when it came. It came from some calamity defending between Ben Gibson and Grant Hanley, sort of going for the same ball and then tackling each other. Just a royal mess, which was quite surprising to hear David Wagner sort of say that they had been working on that not happening. And you can't legislate, which I guess he meant in terms of that scenario. Tom Bradshaw is a man on total form. That was his 6th goal in 5 games. He went on to score his 7th, but it was no goal. But yes, I thought Millwall were probably worth the lead. It was in a comical way, and you kind of felt, okay, this is how I feared it might play out. I then thought, to be honest, Norwich grew into the game over a period, and then once they got back level, which they did from a really clever set-piece routine, the corner taken to the edge of the area when all the other players had run into the box, Millwall to track the Norwich players, comes to Jakob Sørensen, who was playing in midfield today, who takes a shot, gets it on target, which was enough because it sort of picked a slight deflection and sort of bobbled over long and into the net. And from that point on, I thought Norwich were exceptional. Millwall certainly had their chances and pushed really hard at times, especially towards the end. Norwich got themselves 3-1 ahead with 2 brilliant goals in the second half. Again, the second from a set piece, which was well worked from Anel Hernandez, who was, again, outstanding in terms of the most consistent performers this season. I think Anel is probably up there for that. He worked it so well, and he just gave Millwall a torrid time on both flanks, really, at times. He created, with sort of driving run into the box, that then Bradshaw flicked in for their own goal, which gave Norwich a 2-1 lead. And then Hernandez again, running at his man. Cut back was slightly behind Gabriel Sara, but his first touch sort of just popped it into the ground with his right foot. I think he turned and then just hit this exceptional first-time shot with his left foot that pinged in off the underside of the crossbar. Brilliant goal. I can think of Marcelino Nunez's free kick at Hull. And maybe some nice team goals, possibly. I can't, with nice goals, but I just thought for the quality of the finish, just exceptional. And actually, Gabriel Sara hit another one from 30 yards, which was a brilliant save from long because it was travelling and it was swerving. And, I've looked at Gabriel Sara all season and thought, okay, there's things you need to do. There's obviously promise there. But, this guy should be good because he's a £10 million player that's been signed to play in the Championship. Today, he looked every inch that, if maybe not a bargain. And that is brilliant to see. Really, really good. He is settled. He looks like a man in form. And if, dare I say it, if he keeps playing like this and Norwich don't quite do the business, there will be interest in him in the summer. Oh, sorry. I didn't realise I was being beeped at there. Oh, at least I didn't get mowed down. He was obviously stuck against this post. Well, almost got run over. I'll give him a wave to apologise. Sorry. I didn't realise. There we go. Oh, that's going well. Hilarious. So yeah, Gabriel Sara. I was just absolutely entranced by Gabriel Sara. So that was grand. Wobble then for the last 10 minutes or so. Millwall get a goal back from Norwich having looked so comfortable. It was a free header from Zion Fleming from a corner, I think. So not great, but one of those things, I suppose you can say, when you hold out for a 3-2 victory. And, you look at today's evidence, clearly there are shortcomings defensively, but actually the way Norwich combated, the way they pressed, they won the ball high nicely at times too, and they looked good up front. Lovely, good movement, lots of really, really runners. And I thought they took the wind out of Millwall's sails, probably that's the best way to say it. I thought Millwall started with great enthusiasm, but as the game got difficult, they kind of lost their way, and Norwich looked like they were able to cope with them. So for where Millwall are in the table, and bearing in mind they've been unbeaten here for ages. Burnley came here and only drew 1-1. I was a bit surprised with Millwall, but they did have a game in midweek. Norwich did look fresher. They obviously benefited from these set-piece moves that they've been working on all week, so they had that extra time. Noticeable that they all ran across and patted Andy Hughes on their head, and Jakob Sørensen gave the congratulations to Andy Hughes as well. So that's not Alan Russell, as I think a few people were saying during the game. I'm not even sure he was in the dugout today. So again, that's interesting, because I remember asking David Wagner about Alan Russell a week or so into, a couple of weeks or so into the job, and his answer left me thinking, okay, let's see how this pans out. He might have been here for perfectly good reason, not been here for perfectly good reasons, or he might have been here and no one saw him. So I'm going to stop speculating. We'll see how that pans out or whatever. If there is anything to pan out, maybe there isn't, who knows. I'll try and find out. So that was that. Gianni Infantino was here off of FIFA. He was in London and decided that someone told him that the closest game to get to and back from would be Millwall. So he was here taking in the football. It'd be lovely to know what he thought of it. But yeah, Norwich held on. It was a really good clearance off the line from Grant Hanley, but it just sort of went to him when he was in the right position. So it was great reading of the position for him to be back. And then he just sort of knocked it back to Angus Gunn and picked it up. That was fine. You can see the strength in the squad now, I think. Jakob Sørensen looked very good in midfield, I thought, on what would be a physical game, difficult to handle. So he did a really good job in a sort of midfield role alongside Kenny McLean. Sara was kind of in the 10-4-2-3-1, but there was a bit of a sort of 4-3-3 element of it, depending where they were on the pitch. Adamida ran really hard and well in the sort of left side forward of those sort of supporting three, or the front three, however you want to look at it. So he did well without maybe looking like a goal for himself. He got well. I'm going to try and make sure I now don't get run over by someone, including a bus. I'm sure some people would like to run over with a bus. So that was good. From Adam, good shift. Tammy Pukki, his 200th appearance for the club. He just ran his socks off all game, and he's always a threat, because he definitely could have scored today. He had a couple of good chances. And some just generally good performances all around. I think everyone put a shift in. You wouldn't really want to highlight anyone else in particular, because across the board, everyone contributed to a fantastic result. And look, I'd be lying if it's the best performance I've seen all season. It feels like the best result I've seen in a very long time. I can imagine it was the same for the supporters here, 3,000 Norwich supporters here. And it does feel like there is some genuine momentum now, and I am sort of looking at the table going, oh, okay. So, Norwich play the same number of games as Middlesbrough, and they're 5 points behind them, and they've got to go to the Riverside. So, if you keep pace with Middlesbrough, you beat them, you're only 2 points behind them. That is not, that's an interesting target to ascertain, especially when I sit here thinking, well, Middlesbrough could finish second. Now, Sheffield United do have a game in hand on both Norwich and Norwich and Middlesbrough. They are another 4 points, I think, ahead of Middlesbrough, so they're 9 points ahead of Norwich. Look, it's fanciful, but kind of fun to look, isn't it? Just think, given how wretched so much of this has been. So we can always afford a little look, surely. So there we go. I'll leave you on that note. I hope you're all well. On the ball, apologies, no on the ball last week. We'll be back on Monday. And yeah, I'll be at Carrow Road on Sunday week, or on Sunday next weekend. When Sunderland come to Carrow Road, they were absolutely smashed by Alec Neil's Stoke. So that would have been a fun occasion to be at. Quite the day for Alec Neil. But this one will be all about Norwich and Sunderland. A great opportunity, even though it's a Sunday lunchtime, to really nail home some extra momentum and keep this going. Because all Norwich need to do now is just keep this going and see where it takes them. It's the best part of it. If there's still room for improvement, and to be honest, it feels like there still is, then that would be wonderful. David Wagner is doing a wonderful job. I really like him, and I also really like what he's doing. So long may that continue. Right, I shall take that off. Have a lovely time of it. Enjoy your weekends, because it's a victory, and that's good. And I will see you very soon. Until then, he said, looking for the sign-off, which is there. Goodbye!